guys, thanks for watching WebBeat TV. Today we are going to talk about storing your data in the cloud, and who better to talk to about that than Jeff Janer, founder of SpringPad. So Jeff, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So can you talk a little bit about SpringPad? What is it?
So SpringPad is essentially a socially connected, free notebook app. And what we do is make it really easy and quick for you to save anything you want to remember, anytime, anywhere. So we've got mobile apps for iOS, for Android, and we have a web app as well. And what we do that is kind of not only storing your data, but we also look to help you out when you're actually ready to do something with those things that you saved. So, for example, you might have saved a restaurant that you wanted to try at some point in time. What we're going to do is add the link to OpenTable, the map, the contact information, the menu pages,
Nice.
let you read reviews. So again, whenever you might want to do something with that restaurant you saved, we want to help you out.
Awesome.
And then what we also do is if there's a Groupon deal or a Living Social deal for that restaurant, we're going to alert you to that automatically. So not just a digital filing cabinet, but think of a little bit more of an assistant, if you will.
That's great. So you don't have to remember everything. That's awesome. So there's been, a lot of talk about online storage, and I think one of the things that concerns people is what kind of things can you really store on there? Is there anything that you have to be a little bit careful about?
So we kind of look at this in the context of two things. One is just you come across things you're interested in all the time, and what do? How do you remember those today? Is it a Post-it note? Is it a piece of paper? Is it a string around your finger, etc.?
Yeah.
So just the things of everyday life, movies, books, products, restaurants, again, those kinds of things are not necessarily of utmost privacy. So, SpringPad is a place to store that.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would recommend people not to store?
Do a lot of note-taking.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I said, is there anything you would recommend people not to store online? Say, passwords or credit card information or health documents. I mean, it's pretty, sensitive information that maybe you shouldn't be putting online.
Well, I think that today I would tend to agree with that if there is certain information that you absolutely want to keep private and don't want to have hacked, if you will, you might look at a different solution, more of a locker, if you will. Where we're headed, one of the things we're looking at is, in fact, encrypting your data storage as a value-add service. And then at that point, we could say, yes, this is a place where you could store that as well.
Okay, so what are some of the other things that you do to ensure that people's data is kept safe?
Well, first of all, it's a couple things. So one is obviously you have a username and a password that is your account, and you should guard that like you guard any other username and password. Yeah. With the Android apps, we have a PIN code so that you can lock the device itself and prevent access to SpringPad, even if somebody knows your username and password. Mm-hmm. And then I think everything is in the cloud and it's backed up there as well. So just keeping it safe. It's not just if the cloud goes down, all your data is backed up. So that's doubly and triply safe, if you will. Yeah. Even if there's an issue with our server farm in that regard. And then, as I said, the transmission right now, it's HTTPS to access your data. And as we go forward, we're looking at encrypting that your data storage as well.
So I have a question here from a viewer. I'll try to pronounce your name correct. Sital Ruparelia. From Career Management TV, had a question for you. What happens if a storage provider goes bankrupt? So what happens if God forbid, but if SpringPad ceases to exist, what happens to all your data?
So one thing that we did early on was provide for anybody to export all of their data at any time. So you can do that as a backup if you feel more comfortable that way anytime. And then certainly if there was something that was going to happen, then we would allow everybody to just come in and get all of their data. So I think that's again, we don't expect that to happen. But,
no, right.
I think peace of mind is really important for our users.
Yeah, of course.
Just providing that is what we want to do.
Good to know. So you can just pull your data off whenever you want to. So you recently launched a new Facebook Friends feature, right?
Friends are having conversations today about the things and places they like. But you're probably not thinking about which of those things to save for when you might need them in the future. That's where SpringPad comes in, making all of the things your friends like easier to find at a later date.
Yeah, so, the way we started out is when you're browsing around the web, if you're in mobile and you scan a barcode, just giving you lots of ways to capture things that interest you when you're out and about.
Yeah.
But what we realized is your friends are an awesome source of recommendations. And if you think about Facebook, in that stream, there's all kinds of conversation going on about places to go, about, movies that were great, about books that you just read. But there's really no way to kind of navigate that for personal benefit, if you will. So what we did is a big data project, actually, which was to say not only do you do a Facebook Connect to pull all your friends into SpringPad, whether they have an account or not, but we're actually pulling in all of their likes and all of their check-ins and then aggregating those. So to the extent that you want to watch a movie tonight, you may want to say, what movies did my friends like? And by going to friends stuff, you can actually see, I had 6 friends that liked Hangover and 5 friends that liked The Big Lebowski, and which ones do I trust in terms of movie recommendations?
Sure.
So it just becomes a useful way to kind of take all of those recommendations that came by in conversation that you didn't necessarily save at that time because you weren't interested in watching a movie right then.
Yeah.
And let you use it when you're ready to.
I think that's fascinating because, there's so many things that you talk about on Facebook, but you don't always really use that information right then and there. So I think that's a great new tool. So it's something that's not out yet, right?
It's in beta right now. So it's been in beta for about a month, and it's been very interesting. We've seen amazing growth and requests to get into the beta, and a lot of data has come into the system. So I think we're probably still a little ways away from general availability. But like I said, we're really learning and seeing a lot of really interesting stuff
That's exciting.
happening.
And I think you have a special offer for people who are watching WebBeat right now, right?
That's right. If anybody would like to get prioritized access or kind of move to the top of the list for beta, I would say just to send me a tweet and or follow me, and I'll respond back and get you moved to the top of the list. And we'd love to hear some feedback. Awesome.
That's great. So follow at Jeff Janer and send him a tweet to get early access. Who doesn't love that? So now let's talk a little bit about the future. Where do you think SpringPad is heading in the next couple of months, next couple of years?
So I think where we started was trying to be useful for individuals, right? So I want to remember stuff, and then I want some help when I'm ready to actually do something. And we started that with the web. Now with the Facebook and other social networks, where we're headed is to say, all right, well, let's, if you will, harvest the things that your friends recommend and let you navigate through those. The next big step for us is to provide some sense of context around that. So, and then ultimately let you share those things. So if you have certain friends that you think are the foodies who know everything about food, restaurants, recipes, etc., we should let you start a foodie notebook that, you get started, you say, here are my recipes, and then let you, in fact, share that notebook with people that you consider your foodie, influencers, if you will.
Interesting. That sounds a lot like Google Plus Circles. Is that kind of similar?
It's in that idea, although instead of it being asynchronous, that you're just sharing out, the idea is that it becomes interactive.
Yeah.
So together you're collaborating on this foodie notebook to make this the ultimate foodie notebook between you and your 3 friends who you consider your foodies. So in simplest form, you take the equation, it's kind of useful, plus context, plus groups, equals SpringPad. And that's kind of the equation we're looking to operate against over the next several months.
And how about online storage in general? Where do you think it's heading in the next couple of years? Do you see any trends that you would predict for online storage?
Well, I think the thing that clearly has happened with the Dropboxes and the BoxNet, et cetera, so far is just this concept of anytime, anywhere, access to your stuff.
Yeah.
If it's Dropbox, it's file storage. Some of it is just note-taking. In our case, what we're looking at is it's the stuff of life, if you will. And then the notion of actually making it actionable is both our differentiator and then ultimately where I think things need to go. It's not just a digital filing cabinet. What you put in is what you get out. But help me out. Don't make me do things. If I, tell you that this is, I'm making this up a little bit, but if I tell you this is my favorite artist, then automatically, notify Pandora or add that to my playlist or for Spotify, etc.
In the end, where it comes down to is we won't have to remember anything. Everything will be up in the cloud. All our memory.
The cloud will help you out.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think we're out of time, but it was great to talk to you and to find out a little bit more about online storage. Now, where can people find you online and where can people find SpringPad?
So Twitter is @SpringPad, pretty basic, springpad.com. And I'm at Jeff Janer. I'm sure you'll put that super up there.
Yes, we'll put that down here.
Look down there.
Yeah.
And we love to hear from both users and people that just kicking our tires. We love feedback. We love input. And thanks very much for this opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So don't forget to follow at Jeff Janer and also follow us at WB TV and at Pelpina. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Do it.